Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. How y'all day going so far? I hope it's going good. It's a beautiful day outside where I'm at. So it's starting out pretty decent over here. I just came back from the grocery store picking up a few things because we're on spring break now. And so, when your kids are out of school, the food tend to disappear a lot quicker when they're home. So I went on ahead and, restocked up a few things for us to be home over this spring break or whatnot. And so, got me a little sun, not too much, just a little bit of sun. But, I'm back home now in my favorite place to be, my room. So, yeah. So I came back to give y'all another piece of the story. And y'all asked the question. Y'all asked why didn't I call the police? Okay. So what I forgot to tell you in that last story was that he took the phone apart. I had a Samsung phone. The back will come off and the battery will come out. He would disassemble my phone every single time. So after that day, my phone stayed with him. And anytime something was about to go down and he was aware that it was about to go down, he always took the phone apart. So that way I can't call the cops. And so why didn't I call when I got to his mom's house? Because he was there to make sure that I don't do anything. Make sure I don't leave him because he took the key. And make sure I don't call the police. So I'm sitting around his mom and him, and he's keeping me in his eyesight. He ain't letting me or my son out of his eyesight. So I told you I was trying to get the keys back from him so I can go to the car and dip out, because the phone I was at least thought was still in the car. But actually he had got the phone back and put it back together. And he had the phone. When he got the phone back together, I don't know. But he had it back together because when we got back to the room, he gave me the phone after he came back from going to get his little product. After he came back from getting his product, that's when he gave me the phone back. Ain't no calling police then either, because he ain't leaving out of the room now. He making sure that he stay on me like white on rice, baby. Ain't no When I say staying on me like white on rice, he going to work with me and everything. Yep. After that day, he had my phone all day, every day, and he went to my work. Both jobs. He went to both jobs with me. Just sitting in my car, holding on to my phone all day, every day, until later on in the story. But by that time, calling police, to be honest with you, me calling the police was not on my mind, because I don't want to get my son taken from me. I'm thinking if I call the cops, and plus we already got CPS them bothering with me or whatever. They ain't bothering with me that hard. It wasn't that serious, but I've told you, they came and they did drug tests on me and him and all this stuff. So this stuff is recorded. So I don't want to add nothing else to the reports that's already been reported, and I don't want to risk the chance of losing my son. All I'm worried about right now, at that moment, was staying alive. Keeping me and my son alive. That's all I was doing. So I ain't finna do anything to jeopardize us, which I've already done because I got us in the situation. But I'm not gonna do anything else more to add on to that. So if you understand what I'm saying, you understand. If you don't, you ain't probably been in that position before, but hey, that's just what I chose to do. I had not ever had to call the police for much of anything. I ain't really have no drama and no problem in my life until I met these men. So calling the police, I didn't have to call the police for anybody. So no, I didn't call the police and wasn't thinking about calling the police. I just want to figure out how to get away from this man permanently and safely. And so it takes a long time before I can get to that part. So just keep keeping up with the story. We'll get there. Of course I got there, so I'm here. But yeah, so he now has my phone all day, every day. He the one wakes me up basically when my alarm going off, because he smoked crack. He up all night. Sleep during the day. up all night. So he has my phone. I don't really have access to my phone unless it's one of my family members calling that he know of. He'll bring the phone to me. So if it's like my sister, my older sister, my baby sister, my brother, anybody that I talk to on a regular that calls my phone, he'll bring the phone to me and let me talk to them. But you better believe he's sitting there listening to the conversation, because he want to make sure that I don't tell anybody what he's doing. So this still the beginning. Well, this like we ain't gonna say how long we in this thing right now, because I stayed with him for 3 years. So these stories are not like in order because it was a lot went on in these years. So different things are triggering these stories, and that's how I can remember them or whatever, but so much went on. So just keep up with me. So yeah. So now my car is starting to give me a little problems or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think I had to get an alternator or something at this point. So get that fixed or whatnot. And so now just being in this hotel is so costly because he's not working. So me handling the car, the hotel, the food, everything, I'm taking care of all of us and everything. It's beginning to be a much for me. You know what I'm saying? I want a place. I don't want to live in a hotel forever. I want to get my own place or whatnot. And so staying in a hotel is not going to get it. You spend too much money doing that. So here we are. This man going to work with me every single day to both jobs. He's sitting in my car. Now, in the morning times when we get there, it's kind of early, so he don't need my car keys at that time. So I take my car keys in to work with me because, you know, so I have a feeling that he may drive off in my car, and then again, I don't know if he will because he don't drive my car like that. But he just might up and decide to drive my car one day while I'm in the job, and so, you know, I just try to take my key from him. But come to find out, he was driving the car. But then once I found out he was, then I started parking my car in a different place. So we're at the job, and he doesn't start that right away, you know what I'm saying? After he done came a good enough time and done, you know, got acquainted with the area, because he would just get out the car and just walk around town. Because, you know, he full-blown crackhead. He got to go find other people that are just like him. So that way when he over here spending all his time coming to work with me, he can also get into a little something while he over in the area. So he got people over here in this area where we work at. He got people at the hotel, and he got people in the other around, close to my other job too. So he got people where he can go and get access to this stuff in every place that we are. So like I said, he goes to work with me every time I have to work. I work 2 jobs, no days off. So he going to work with me every single day. Okay? So we at the first job, which is my first job is the gas station / restaurant. Then the other job is another gas station, which was 7-Eleven. So I was working Wawa and 7-Eleven at the same time. And like I said, I didn't know he was driving my car until this one day. I parked my car in the area where I could see the car, just randomly doing so. You know what I'm saying? I parked the car there. I think all the spaces was taken when I got to work or whatever. However, I parked there where I could see my vehicle. So the way I am at the cash register, I could see in the parking lot, and I could see the back of my car. So one day I'm at the register, you know what I'm saying? He ain't been driving my car. So I think or whatever, you know. And something just says, look up. And when I look up, I see my car backing out and getting ready to leave out the parking lot. So I tell you, he got my phone. So I got to go and get the job phone to call my phone to tell him, if you don't bring my god doggone car back here, sir, where you think you going? I was just finna run up the road real quick. No, sir, we don't do that. Nope. Bring my car here and give me back my keys. So he followed directions. He brought the car back, turned right on around. I watched him because I could see him. He hadn't even got out the parking lot that good. All he did was made it to the center lane to turn and get into his lane. That's as far as he made it by the time I got him on the phone. So I watched him turn the car around and bring it back in the parking lot and park back in that spot. And he walked those keys in to me. And I'm just like, you can't drive my car. You don't have no license. You can't even obtain a license. You're not going to be driving my car. And you smoke that stuff? No, you're not driving my car. So he gave me the keys. I made him sit out there in the heat or whatever. The windows are down. You good. You lost your privileges of holding the keys and using AC now. So now you're going to have to tough it out however you tough it out. Hopefully it'll make him stop wanting to come to work with me every day. Nope. Nope. Not at all. So what he started doing was coming in the job and aggravating me and just, I'm like, listen, you got the phone out there. I don't even get to hold the phone. You got the phone and the keys. I'm like, nah, it's got to be one or the other. Then again, I'm like, nope, you're just not going to get my keys, period. Keep the phone, do what you want to do, but you're not going to keep my keys. So that didn't stop him from coming. So he got with the program and he knew not to ask for my keys or whatever. So I'm with this man all day, every day after the first time I tried to get away from him. He's up my behind. And the only time I don't see him is when he going to get his stuff. And now at this point, he's bringing that back because he can't be gone from me too long because he don't want me to get away. So we move forward from that. My car is no, we ain't gonna go to the car. So what happened was, like I said, y'all, it's a lot of stuff going on in between all of this. And so I'm trying to figure out what happened after that. So he's going to work with me. He's sitting in the car. And now we need to get out of the hotel. The hotel is costly now. You know what I'm saying? I do want my own place and all that good stuff. And so I ain't going to be able to save no money if I'm still staying in the hotel. So then we go ahead and while I'm trying to come up with a plan on finding somewhere else to go so that way we can get a place together or whatever and get out of the hotel room. I think he ended up getting high one night and he was tripping. He did something. No, what happened was, he ended up getting high one night. He came and he gave me back the phone. So now I got the phone and I got the keys. I always had my keys. So I'm just saying, I got the phone and the keys. So not having my phone is another reason why I can't just up and leave too. So now to this night, I got the keys and the phone. And so I left the hotel and when I got another room somewhere just for a night, wasn't going to stay there permanently or whatever, but just to get away from him. I'm like, you know what? He just gave me the phone back. I'm finna leave him here. So I gathered up my stuff because now he going and he's staying for a long period of time at the spot. He getting high at the spot now. So he gone for hours and hours now. So I go ahead and get our stuff, put it in the car, leave his stuff there. And then me and my son, we left and we went to a different hotel room. So when he got back to the room that we were staying in together, I think it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. And when he got there, I was not there. So now you know he freaking out. He panicking. He upset because I'm not in this room. So now he don't know what's going on. So when I get to this other room, I call the CPS worker. And I told y'all we had done, you know, after our little situation, we was cool or whatever. So I called her up and she was like, hey, what's up? I mean, I'm glad that you called or whatever and stuff. I was like, I need a place to live or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Because like living in the hotel is costing me so much money and I want to get a place, but I can't save money staying in the hotel or whatnot. So I didn't tell on him or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But I did mention to her that I also am trying to leave the guy I'm with or whatever. I was like, you know, so I left him in the room and I got a different room for me and my son in a different location. And she said, okay, no problem. She was like, did he hit you or anything? And I was like, no, he didn't do anything to me tonight. Everything was good. I said, I just seen an opportunity to leave. And so I did so. So she said, okay, I'll tell you what. She said, how much money do you have to, how many nights did you get the room for or whatever? And I was like, I got it for one night. She said, do you have enough to get it for another night? She said, because I'm gonna need a whole day to try to work something out for you. She's saying, so I just want to make sure that you'll be able to stay in that room long enough for me to get you and your son situated somewhere. And I was like, yes, that's fine. So I hadn't even went down to add more money to the room or whatever. And good thing I didn't, because she ended up getting things worked out that same day. So I called her probably 8 o'clock that morning. By 1 o'clock that afternoon, she had done figured something out for me. So I'm not answering his phone calls or anything at this point. I am just, you know, trying to focus on getting me and my son somewhere else. So the CPS worker calls me back and she says, okay, I got a place to put you in temporarily. You'll get like 45 days to stay there or whatever until you get yourself together. She's saying then from that point, depending on, you know, what y'all talk about, they may help you a little further than that. So she's like, but all I can do is tell you to go and, you know, take what they're offering to keep a roof over you and your son's head, and we'll worry about the rest later. So I'm like, okay, fine. So she's like, now the place that I have for you, she said all the other shelters were taken up. She was like, so I'm gonna send you guys to a domestic violence shelter, because you have dealt with domestic violence with this person that you're with anyway, even though last night y'all didn't have that problem going on. She said, but it's going on, so I'm gonna send you to a domestic violence shelter. So me and my son, we go, and they helped. They was wonderful, you know what I'm saying? So I get into the shelter and they're helping me. They're doing all this stuff for me. And my dumb behind, which I already know, I end up talking to him after I get into the shelter. So you know him. He want to know where I'm at. I cannot tell him where I am. He can't even come anywhere near this shelter. And if you've been in one of those shelters before, you know what I'm talking about. So I can't tell him nothing about this place, point blank, period. If I do, I'm gonna get locked up. So I don't tell him where the place is or whatever, but like I told y'all, he will sleep in the woods or a ditch close by to wherever the area is or whatever. And so it was just that bad. It was just that bad. He didn't come to the property or whatever, but he did, you know, get close by. So he had me dumb enough to say, well, I dropped him off because I would still go and see him and everything while I'm still staying at the shelter. I would still go and see him, and I would spend all day with him until it was time to go back to the shelter to sleep. So once I get up in the morning to go to work, he was still going to work with me. So I would just pick him up from wherever I dropped him off at, and then he'll go to work with me. Sit in my car. He got my phone. He got my keys. Well, he would get the phone, but I would have to go and get the phone every so often because the shelter would call. And so, they would just do a check-in to make sure I'm safe and, on where I say I am and stuff like that. So he would still hold the phone. He just didn't have it like he was having it before. So we get past this shelter thing. And so while I'm at this shelter, remember I told you the alternator went out on the car. So I end up getting the alternator fixed. But after the alternator situation happened, now I have an electrical problem. So now this car is really, really cutting up. So like every time you turn around, I got to get a jump from somebody. I got to get a jump to get to work. I got to get a jump from work. I got to get a jump midway to work. It was crazy on top of everything else that I had going on. But I brought it on myself because I could have used the shelter to break away, but I still don't know what I got as far as help. You know what I'm saying? He is just crazy. And so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all don't even know the half. I can only tell y'all bits and pieces of this part of the story because when I say your girl was crazy, I was crazy. And so I don't care to share that part of the situation, but just know I was gone. So gone. Just, this man had me in a place where I just really thought that I can't get away from him. So just know it was worse than what I'm saying it is. You know what I'm saying? So the car is breaking down. At this point, I need another car because now I done did all the jumping that I could possibly do. This car ain't cranking up no more. So this particular day, the day that the car finally goes completely out, while I'm at work, there's a car lot right next to this job. And this man comes in there every single day and he get the same thing every single day because the job is right next door to his car lot. So he came in there and he was just like out of the blue because, I'm like, Lord, I need another car, but I don't have the money to get another car right now. But I really need a car to keep getting back and forth to work or whatnot. And after I said that prayer, he walked through the door and he was like, hey, I just got a whole shipment of new cars over there or whatever, or some decent cars over there. You should come over there and check it out. Let me put you in a new car. And I'm like, man, I ain't got no money for no car. He was like, man, just come see me. I promise you, I have you in a car today. I'm like, I say, that sounds good. I say, but I don't have no money and I don't have no space in my money to get another car. He was like, just come by my shop and see me. Just come to the car lot. He said, I guarantee you I have you in the car today. So I'm like, Lord, I need a car, but I cannot afford to go to no car lot and get no car. I just can't. So I get off work. This day he was not with me. This day he was not in the car with me. So I had a little break in between because he ended up going somewhere else to go do his thing or whatever. And so he said he would get a ride up to the job or whatever. But he ended up not coming. So he called me and he was like, just meet him later on and we'll do it like that or whatever. So yeah, because we ended up meeting up at the hotel later on after everything went down. So I get off work And my son's school was like right up the road. So my son walks up to the job. So that's how he was in the car. So we leave the job, but we got to get a jump to get from the job. So we get down this long road heading to the shelter. And the car, it got me all the way to this is a long stretch, curvy road or whatever. And we get to the last light on this road before I get on the road that's going to take me to the shelter. Well, to another road that's extremely long, and then I turn off and get to the shelter or whatever. So when I get to the end of this road, the car goes completely out. Ain't no more cranking it up, ain't no more jumping. We tried that. It's not cranking back up. So who pulls up behind me? The guy with the car lot next to my job. He pulls up behind me. He was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I need a jump." He was like, "Okay." So he tried to jump it. It don't work. So he was like, "Man, I tell you what." He said, "I told you I could put you in a car by the end of the day." He was like, "You got some rope in the back of your car?" I was like, "Nope." He was like, "I tell you what, get in the car." Get in the car, put it in neutral or either drive. And he said, I'm gonna push you all the way back to my lot. Now this is a good distance from where his shop was from where I was at when I broke down. So we basically driving through town, pushing my car with his truck. So I'm steering while he pushing my car back to his shop. And that day, he put me in another car. No money down, put me in the car. It was a little Ford Escort 2-door. It was shiny. You know, it wasn't what I wanted, but it's what I could afford for the payments that I would need to make for the car or whatever. And so we got everything done. The payments was fine. I can handle that. So we get back from doing all of that. And by this time, he's ready to meet up. So I'm like, okay, cool, fine. You know, I got the car, so I can go on and, you know, link up with him. So I go and link up with him. And everything is cool or whatnot. You know, nothing's really going on at this point. So we okay, it's 27 minutes in. So we go ahead and, you know, we take the car for a cruise and everything, check out all the functions and everything, and go stop by a couple people's houses and show them the car or whatnot. And I go to my sister's house and show her the car and everything, and just was still in disbelief that I got this car and didn't have any money to get this car or whatnot. And I was just so happy. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying, something good is happening in my life right now, you know. So the car was my good thing for the moment, you know what I'm saying. So I was happy that I got a car. And the man had, you know, he was like, I see you working hard, man. You got 2 jobs, this, that, and third. You take care of your kid. He's like, you don't need to be out here walking. Let me put you in a car. And, you know, he was a great car salesman. He really was. He looked out for me. He put me in a car just like he said he would. So we'll leave the story right there, because then it go left real quick after that. So I want you guys to have a wonderful day. Love yourself. Fall in love with you, because you deserve it. If it take one day at a time, do it. But you need to fall in love with yourself, because loving you first is the best way to go. It really is. It'll knock out so much of the different toxic things that we done been through in these relationships. Because when you start loving you, you ain't gonna just let nobody do you any kind of way. If you can't love me like I love myself, I don't need you. So Y'all keep healing, keep loving yourself, and keep finding things to keep your mind occupied. Get you some positive thoughts and put yourself around people who are positive to you, people who give you good energy. If their energy ain't so good, step back. Be by yourself. Don't be afraid to be by yourself. I am going to say I'm not afraid to be by myself. I actually love being by myself. And even when it comes to having a man in my life, I could be by myself for a long time. It's just that whenever I'm by myself, I'm at peace. But as soon as I let somebody else in my life, they destroy my peace. I got to stop letting people destroy my peace. I fight too hard to get my peace back, to turn around and keep letting people take it away from me. And I've been going through that a lot. Right now, I'm peaceful. So it's almost kind of scary to kind of let anybody else in where I've let other people in before. Because I don't want nobody to come in and take my peace. Because then when you take my peace, then I got to go through this period of retraining my brain to see and feel things differently, like music right now. I was so attached to that last man 2 months ago with music that it was almost hard for me to listen to different music that was playing when me and him was dating, because it would put memories of him in those songs. But you know what I've been doing lately? When I hear those songs, instead of running from them, because I love music, instead of running from those songs, I have other memories with those songs, not just memories of him. So X out the memories of him and focus on the other memories that you had, the positive memories that I had with those songs. And so that's what I've been doing lately, y'all, because I'm telling you, I love music. I listen to music every day. And so when we were together, we listened to music all the time, all types of genres and all types of music. So it's a lot of music that I can attach him to. So all I'm doing now is just detaching him from that music, and it's no longer a memory of him. It's just positive memories and whatever else I want to think of when I hear that song now. So do whatever you got to do. Fight for your peace. Whatever gives you peace, hold on to it. I love you guys. Mwah. Thank you for the likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. Keep doing what y'all doing. Keep healing. Love yourself. If you don't do nothing else, love you first. Have a good day.